All right, folks. Finally, we get to see these two in Group A opening games in Titans League Season 4 for Liereyy, who's always a crazy threat, and then Margougou as well, who still is looking for that big, like, top 8, top 10 result that he's so desperately been seeking over the past year or two. Margougou is on Team Fox, and so far in Titans League Platinum, Team Fox has been doing really well. We had Darkbeat Viper in their opening round, 2-1, and then we also had Sebastian beating Doubt. So some established names have been surprised so far starting off this season, and Margougou falls into that category of up-and-coming, next-generation player. He's young, he's active, he's motivated, and of course, if you know him, he's also humble, right? Margougou has gone for the Dravidians here. And then we have Liereyy going for the Byzantines on Cross. On Cross, you've got the 4 pawns in the corners. There's 8 deep fish. And beyond that, you'll need to transition elsewhere. And it's just a very difficult map when it comes to multitasking. Because just winning 1 pawn isn't necessarily enough. Just winning 2 pawns is obviously very good. But then you could still lose everything on land. So balancing out those two is always the struggle on this one. I like both these civs. I think the key difference for me is Dravidians have the economic flexibility, but Byzantines have the military power. Byzantines have the cheap units. They've also got the faster fire ships, or like the faster firing fire ships. So anytime there's an engagement, or anytime military is being fielded, advantage Byzantines, but Dravidians should be able to cut some corners. And I think the main thing that the Dravidians could do that the Byzantines can't really justify on normal types of builds here is the man-at-arm play. I don't know how many people here were watching more Titans League this morning, but I go to bed after talking about things Titans League. I wake up, I immediately watch Titans League and talk about Titans League and scheduling and adminning and maps and whatever. And so I was watching with my morning routine the Mihai series. And so it was Mihai wide in Gold League. And there was a game where Mihai went man-at-arms. And it was just like, boom, game over. Like 3 villagers died. Wide wasn't prepared for it. And unfortunately for him, I think he'll be kicking himself right now because it should be expected from Japanese and Dravidians. And so I think Liereyy won't make that mistake, but the man-at-arms obviously still could hold a lot of power there, right? Wow, we have someone in my chat. It's their first message on the channel, and their username is T90 Mustache, and then their first message was T90 Mustache. We do have a T90 Stash emote. I don't know. Is this like a bot? Is that the only thing this account's gonna say? Just say mustache? Yeah, mustache isn't spelled at least how I would spell it, I think. Isn't it socially acceptable, depending on where you're from, to spell it differently than American spelling, though? It's like mustache. I don't know. But, anyways, welcome. Oh, and now they're subbed. Okay, well, now you can use the mustache emote. Chad, what do you think about the stash? Oh, let me ask you this. If I were to lose the stash tomorrow, would that be good for my appearance or bad for my appearance? Because it's been a while now. It's kind of part of my identity. And my fiance is a big fan of it. And I always am like, I'm going to get rid of this thing. And she is very much against that. So I'm kind of a smart man, you know. If she's attracted to it, I'm probably likely to keep it, but... Okay, so a lot of people... There's less people saying it's bad for my appearance than 3 years ago. So I'm slowly wearing you down, I guess. That's good to know. Thank you. Well, Lierey's moving out the scout now. Double lumber camp from him. So this is great for the efficiency. But again, if man-at-arms were to come in, this is where it gets tough. He doesn't have the full walls down yet. He doesn't have the scouting down yet. Margougou's barracks timing makes me think he will go for man-at-arms. He'll send those villagers over to gold. And Dravidians get the extra 200 wood when they make it to the feudal age. They have that flexibility there. Liereyy is going to run directly into Margougou's TC. Unfortunately for him, the arrows didn't really do much damage there. It could have been bad, and Margougou Also has an idea of where Liereyy is right now. So they scouted a little late. But this is possibly an invitation for Margougou to go try and sneak a dock. Now, I don't think many people are going to want to do that against Byzantines, but Liereyy still has to respect that potential, especially because he saw the scout there. You see the scout go that direction, it just feels natural that maybe that will happen. And so he's actually scouted with the fishing ship. And he also sees the barracks, but I don't know if he saw the militia. So Margougou's militia are on the way now. Margougou will see the front side is walled. He'll see the range opening, and he'll just be hoping to get some damage in here. And he'll also go for his range behind. The mustache is good prep for when you move to Alaska. Well, like I said, ideal world, I wouldn't want to live in Alaska all the time. Like, the extreme cold and the extreme darkness would take its toll. But I would snowbird it. I'd be a weird snowbird where I'd be in Alaska for 6 months. But, I mean, that's expensive. That's not really realistic with a job, so... I think Liereyy seems to know... Again, just logically thinking about this. I talked about it in the Dark Age when we were talking about mustache. Like, you know that Dravidians have the flexibility to do this. And so the Man-at-Arms loop in, and Lierey's played very safe here. Should be okay. And Margougou's still hunting for damage here. That villager's been forgotten here. Might end up being trapped here for a little while. But there's still some fish to take, and we have a spearman and an archer on the way from Liereyy. So this is how Byzantines have to open. They don't have bonuses at the start. But the longer the game goes, the better it is for them. And spearman went down there to the TC from Margougou, just trying to bring forward as much army as possible. But this... Like, can you not tell the confidence in which Liereyy plays with right now? So many people would have had a tough time against this, and something would have been delayed, but not Liereyy. He also has already snuck a villager over here to grab a second dock. He's adding more fish. And Margougou, the difference is Margougou's like, I've got to go for full walls here. Walls are obviously great, but I think a big part of this map is taking those pawns. And every time I look at Lierey's dock, he's scouting the shoreline. He's like, okay, making sure he doesn't dock me there. He always has a fish going this way. We'll keep an eye on it. He knows the man-at-arms have probably gone this way. Spears and skirms kind of waiting on the hill here from Liereyy. So it hasn't been aggressive from Liereyy, but that's not what the Byzantines need. Early Castle Age is where they can be aggressive. I'd have to go back and I'd have to see... But it's pretty crazy to me that Liereyy got the Vil here. I think when the Man-at-Arms looped behind his base, that's when he sent it. Now, here we have some archers from Margougou. So he's hoping to distract Liereyy. But Liereyy has skirms prepared, and Liereyy spotted this already. So Liereyy, this is just so good. Still hasn't lost a unit here. Might end up proving me wrong. I think he'll lose the skirmisher there. But the sneak archers from Margougou, hoping to get some damage, just doesn't pan out. And Liereyy with the slight edge with resources collected. And just look at the balance, dude. Now, he does have his scout here. Scout goes down. And Margougou's fully walled. So it's not like the army from Liereyy is going to accomplish a lot right now. Margougou's also fishing this direction. He was a bit later to adding fishing ships, but he's got open opportunity to do so. I would say that maybe fishing the side here makes sense. And doing the same here. He's actually... Oh my goodness, my stream is down again. What in the world is happening? Alright, YouTube. If Hardy doesn't edit this out, I'm sorry. Probably back, right? I don't understand what's happening recently. All I did was just stop it and restart it, and it's fine again. Super weird how this is happening. But we're back. We're back. Sorry, people. Just get your refreshes ready. I gotta call my ISP. I think my ISP is like throttling or something. I've been streaming a lot more. I've been uploading a lot more to Hardy. Something's going on. Might even need to load up a VPN or something. But we're back in business, folks. Sorry about that. And what I was just saying when the disconnect happened is Margougou's doing the smart thing. Adds a galley just so no sneak docks can come up. And he does have a galley here. And the galley... Oh my god, Liereyy actually gets that dock up. Liereyy microed that. I thought that villager was doomed. Liereyy actually gets that dock up. That's crazy. Now, he's also making a forward fishing ship. which he's now canceled. But yeah, now Margougou needs to make fires. That's frustrating for Margougou. Because now you've got a Byzantine dock up on your pond, and you have to respect that massively. And there's also the land aspect as well. That's crazy from Liereyy, though. That was some ridiculous micro. You think about the archer micro with Liereyy, but the villager micro there made a big difference. Yeah, sorry about that one, guys. Thank you, Ira Drake. Thank you, Mutant. Thank you, Mr. Kirby. Father Trace, welcome, welcome. So, that's frustrating. I'm sure, like, type a 1 in chat if you've had issues with internet providers before. For me, it's been golden the last couple years. I don't know. It's just this random instance where I'm just kicked off. My stream just drops. I got to look into it, I guess, because it's now... Yesterday was fine, but it happened on Friday as well, so I'll do what I can. I'll, like, connect every cable, and we'll see. So... Castlade just so fast from Liereyy here. Like, so freaking fast compared to what Margougou's been able to do. And Margougou's gold, even though he's got walls, his gold is still rangeable by a lot of this army. Good news for him is he's banked up a decent enough amount of gold, so he could still probably get his upgrades. And for now, he's keeping an eye on this. There's actually only a fishing ship there from Liereyy, which I have to imagine was a misclick. Because I thought he had done that before as well. So I don't think that's some next level mind game or anything. I think that's just a mistake. Looks like he produced the fire ship here by mistake. Like, that wasn't what he wanted to do, right? Margougou makes it to Castle Age. Second TC's on the way. And his army is going forward, but his army will immediately meet skirms. And this is where the Dravidian player needs to take advantage of the cheap siege workshop. Cheap siege workshop and also cheap siege is what you need to rely on here. Margougou has vills coming out to build that. This crossbow play, though, so far not looking all that good for Margougou. Now, the combination of skirms and siege could be really strong, but will he have a lot of crossbows alive in the near future? Full armor's now in for Liereyy. And Lierey's finding some good engagements. And Liereyy also is just going to dive underneath the TC. He says, I'm not worried about that. What's a TC going to do to fully armored skirms? And Margougou's got so much to worry about right now. And Lierey's just all over him. Liereyy picking off villagers here. And Liereyy also waltzes past the siege workshop. So any siege weapons that come out will be kind of out of position now. And Margougou's had a great game. Like, it's been a solid game. It's been smooth. Good openings. Good transitions. But the play from Liereyy just seems so solid, man. It seems like he's always finding the right opportunities. He defended perfectly. The move on the dock didn't end up doing too much in the end, but it did distract Margougou. And these skirms, just the perfect counter to what Margougou has at the moment. The only way this turns around and gets bad for Liereyy now, in my opinion, is if he loses too many skirms and then Margougou has a big mass to move forward. But Margougou needs mangonels, in my opinion. Scorpions are not going to cut it. Do you guys think that people are making too many scorpions in recent times just because of the recent ballistics change? Yeah, guys, just keep refreshing if it's still not live for you. I think, like, this situation is probably due to lack of, like... This situation's probably because he didn't have a lot of gold. But this Scorpion, not only does it not do the job, because of Lierey's micro, but it just puts you in a weird spot when your opponent adds mangonels. Oh! Oh my god, Margougou just benefited from not microing there, basically. He had no clue those shots were coming in. Liereyy expected him to keep moving. And, well, Liereyy clicks up the imp. That's just crazy, dude. That's just crazy. Now, population's pretty close. Margougou needs to get his micro going here. His farms are coming out. But these skirms have found crazy value. And Margougou has to delete all those farms because they'll be sniped. Cheap imp with Byzantines. Cheap skirms with Byzantines. Great fortifications for Byzantines. And Liereyy gets bracer for these skirmishers. And this will be twice as hard for Mr. Margougou. The theme of the game has pretty much been Margougou attempting to be aggressive and getting damage, and Liereyy just defends from it perfectly. And the early moments in the games is where Byzantines might struggle. Liereyy defended from it quite nicely. And he's you could tell he's having fun as well, microing this group of skirmishers here. Margougou's counterattack will come forward. Now, neither player has ballistics right now. But those crossbows, I think they might venture too far forward here. The skirmisher's still microing on the back. And Margougou sees he's been spotted. His heart's going to sink, dude. When he sees this Imperial Age time from Liereyy, he's just going to be like, what? Also, notice that Liereyy doesn't go for fish traps or anything. He just transitioned to the farms. Got handcarts super early. Other players are going to be adding fish traps on this map. But I liked how Liereyy transitioned this. This is more of the old style on Cross. A lot of the players these days do rely on the fish traps. Not saying fish traps are bad or anything. But technically speaking, fish traps right now aren't needed because your fishing ships are still working on deep fish. It's hard for me to find any positives about Margougou's position. But, there's one. Okay. So he snipes the 2 mangonels there from Liereyy. Liereyy gets caught napping a little bit. And now the upgrades are coming in. More skirms coming in. More viewers coming in. Man, how do I lose 1,000 viewers when I drop like that? Do 1,000 people click off? Or is it just like their streams haven't refreshed because they went to get snacks? I don't know how that works. Maybe people couldn't load up. People wanted to see the games, moved elsewhere. The problem now is skirms even take out the siege, you know? Oh, okay, so Twitch, it took people minutes to get back because of Twitch. Got it. Okay, my bad. My bad. Makes sense. What is Margougou supposed to do from this position, guys? What is he supposed to do? Click Imp would be a start. He's got 4,000 resources in the bank, so he'll click up here after getting his university up. What? Bombard cannons are on the way. More skirms are on the way. Liereyy is he's just that guy, dude. He's just so good. And like I said before TTL started, I feel like 2024 was somehow an improvement for him over 2023. His prep seems to be way better now. He's not full-time. Technically, like, he's working a full-time job and whatnot, but you could tell he's practicing games, thinking through strategies and drafts more than he was in the past. And just rare exceptions to that, where you can look at Liereyy and say, like, okay, maybe he was underprepared compared to X player, but really, the only player that comes to mind there, it's when he faces up against Hera is when you start to see maybe the strategy's maybe not quite as good or something, but, like, Hera's the guy to beat right now. Villagers going down. Siege is going down. Bombard cannons take out the siege. And it's the first game. So Margougou will just hope and pray, and he'll call the GG. What a performance there from Liereyy. That was just a stomp. Again, to me, that wasn't a bad game from Margougou. That's a solid enough opening. I think the big thing he did well here, Margougou, was he was always trying to be the first one to be aggressive and find damage, but the man-at-arms didn't get the job done. Maybe playing into crossbow was a mistake. Maybe he needed siege a little bit faster, but I mean, that's just perfect game from Liereyy. As perfect as it gets, dude. That Imperial Age time was ridiculous. What time was he imp? He was imp at 27 minutes here with everything that went into this. He was man-at-arms. He had man-at-arms come in from his opponent. He had to make skirms, siege, TCs. Just super smooth, dude. And that's why you pick Byzantines right there. Liereyy knew how to play it. And Margougou drops the first game. So yeah, here we are, game 2. And this is actually Lierey's home map. So it's Margougou's choice, but you play every map anyways. And so Liereyy has gone for the Mongols here. Now, I'm hoping that the deer bug doesn't happen here for him, because he's got 2 deer that are on the edge of the map. I've reported this, and we actually changed our map scripts to try and push deer away from the edge of the map, because there's an issue We had to do a full-on admin re at one point because of deer on the edge of the map, because the deer will not leave the edge of the map sometimes. This guy's kind of off the edge, so that's probably fine. This deer might just be stuck on the edge forever. Lierey's Mongol, so he'll want that hunt. And then we got Hindustanis from Margougou. Honestly, I really like the Hindustani choice here against Mongols. I think as long as you don't fall super behind early, it's a really nice civ to have here. You have great skirms, great camels. And against Mongols, you can just play camels pretty much the whole game, and you don't have to worry hugely. I mean, technically, Mangadai and Cav Archer could be pretty strong, but... Okay, Lierey's been able to get the deer off the edge of the map there, so that's good. He'll go to the wood line on the front. Not in love with that lumber camp, actually. I feel like the lumber camp should have probably been here, but that's not really... That just comes down to the scouting. And no deer issues for Margougou either, so... They start up on the hill. The rock terrain is not a terrain you can build on, and Margougou is walking all the way down here for wood. Interesting. I think this might be because of the threat of the Mongols going for the fast archers, or a forward tower on this map. Happens a lot. So let's say that Mongol player gets the scouts out faster, which they usually do. The response from Margougou would be walls. And then the response to that on Acropolis is to come forward and build a tower behind that wood line. That's pretty smart. You should see all the res pushed in. But yeah, Margougou's in a weird position in this group, right? Also, can we not copy pasta 3 people that are copy pasting right now? Can we not? Thank you. We just brought in more mods. I just don't want... Forgive me for being ambitious with my chat, but I just really don't want my chat turning into just the same message being spammed all over again. Back in my day, people didn't use copy pastas. We walked uphill both ways with our message. I don't know. I know I come off like an old man, but I'm picky about my chat. So, listen, Margougou's in a really tough group. And Lierey's probably going to do well against everybody. Margougou needs to focus here. If he can snag a 1 victory, even just 1, really helps his chances of survival. But Lierey's going to be thinking that maybe Margougou has lumber camped the top of the hill here, right? You will sometimes see players build lumber up here. There's still a lot of wood. It just gets inefficient long term. Lierey's scouting so far. Yeah, he hasn't seen anything on the front. It's probably just not on his mind right now, but he is going to dock, which is something I forgot to mention. You can do on this version. If you go play ranked right now, if you go play ranked right now, there's no fish on the Acropolis version of the base game. So don't do this in ranked. I don't know when the map pool changes, but there's no deep fish. There's no real fish in the middle on Acropolis and ranked. So Liereyy goes 18 pop. He's up super fast, which you would expect with the Mongols. 18 pop's fairly standard. But he's also adding the fish now. Can he get 3 fishing ships out and also get barracks and stable on time? I don't think so. I think if you go 3 fishing ships, things are slightly delayed, but it's not too bad. I still like the fish. And I don't think you really need to have your barracks and your stable up right away here. At the very least, he might match Margougou's timing. And he actually saw Margougou's vills headed over there. So now he knows Margougou's chopping wood down there. Yeah, 3 fishing ships uncontested there for Liereyy. And this is on the back of having the greater hunt as well. So his res should be pretty good here. Like I said, the scouts won't come out quite as quickly as you would normally see from Mongols. But this will give him a better mid-game. Better feudal age. Should be really solid for him. Nice adaptations as well. Some people have gone for the dock. Other people have not. It's not really a new thing at this point. Mongols usually have more res collected at this stage, regardless of the dock. If anything, though, you should expect the res collected to rise even more for Liereyy as these 3 fishing ships work. So this puts Margougou under a bit more pressure to get some damage here. But there's the stable from Liereyy. So you see, like, the stable timing's more along the same. So if you don't go for that dock, your stable's up faster. But then your food eco runs out faster too. So pretty smooth here from him. He'll go to berries now as well. Still has some sheep. I think, like, the reason you don't want to... The reason Margougou doesn't try and focus on the water now is he's kind of too committed to his initial build. And when you're the underdog, you want to go for the simplistic but extreme approach. Meaning, he's just got to commit everything on the scouts. He doesn't have to diversify his eco into the water. So, in theory, like, if everything's perfect, it's not going to pan out as well for Margougou with how they built this up. But that's if everything's perfect, and he's playing understanding that he's human, you know? He's hoping that Lierey's going to be human as well. Yeah, like, Lierey's build's impressive, but guys, if you bring in the hunt right away, which Liereyy did, you don't need to have 6 on food because you're Mongols, and then you send Vils to wood earlier. So this is a very nice build. I wouldn't consider it, like, completely revolutionary, but I don't want to take credit away from Liereyy here, which maybe that comment does. He's just pretty standard stuff here. It's not normal for Acropolis because we didn't have the fish before. Those deep fish will run out. Then there's the shore fish, which is still something, right? But lots of scouts out from Liereyy. Pre-walls from Margougou just in case. Range now from Margougou. And he is doing this as a response to the range from Liereyy. But it's still only 2 scouts for him. I feel like that's probably not enough. I think when this is so far away from everything else, it can actually be a negative for you. Because you can't get home if things get bad. That one spearman there to protect is not enough for Margougou. Margougou needs quick walls. And, oh, man, he's got exposed villagers everywhere. Margougou had to know scouts were coming here. And he loses 1 vill. It could have been worse. But this just feels like a really big target now for Liereyy. Because, as I said, these vills are so far away. It's not like they're here, where they could back up to the hill and be protected right away. So I would like to see Margougou tower this. Now, if you tower this, you can't protect your golds and anything else later on, but... Man, such a sick job from Liereyy. I'm impressed with the opening, but look at how he's still making additional scouts, and he's also on archers. The crazy thing is, too, is his eco is actually perfect for fletching. Usually, you're cutting some corners with these types of builds. So you might make, like, 3 scouts if you get the archers fast with fletching. You won't get up to 7. And it's just another game where Lierey's playing like an absolute beast here. And I'm sure you guys are keeping an eye on it. The resources collected. It hasn't gotten better for Margougou at all. And now horse collars being snagged as well from Liereyy. So all these farms that are about to come up will last a long time. Still has berries. Still has sheep. Still has the fish. Even has the hunt. Like, dude. The last minute or 2 is what's really blown my mind with Liereyy. Because you can get that dock down. You can get those fishing ships. And with fishing ships versus no fishing ships with Mongols, you'll have that benefit. But this is crazy, dude. Margougou has some work to do here. Liereyy saw the tower, so he immediately moves to the gold. Margougou's scouts are around. He wasn't quite prepared for this. Fletching is already in on the archers. And so this is not really an area that Margougou can easily defend if he doesn't have fletching himself. He does have a lot of scouts, though, and Liereyy, for once, his micro wasn't perfect there. Didn't end up killing a vill. One villager was a hit away from death. Another villager was maybe 2 hits away from death. Now, there are more scouts for Liereyy. I've been waiting for them to come forward here. And here they come. And no fletching for Margougou. At least he'll get some hits on Lierey's archers. And at least he gets some hits on those scouts. But I think with Lierey's micro, Lierey's scout numbers will still be supreme here. Guys, look at the eco balance behind this for Liereyy. This is crazy. Like, he's prepped to go Castle Age now. How? It's just insane. He's so good at balancing his eco behind calculated aggression. So even if you defend from his engagements, he's still going to beat you to the next position in the game. So painful for Margougou. I mean, Margougou needs a different type of map, maybe. Again, Margougou will save the vill. Could be worse for Margougou. You don't expect there to be mistakes when Lierey's involved, but considering he's only lost 1 vill, he still has cheaper vills and can snipe these 2 archers now. He's probably hoping there's a little bit of potential. But yeah, just so freaking crisp, dude. And then he clicks up. That's crazy. No market, by the way. Like, you know, we've seen Castle Age times like this. If someone uses the market heavily, it's just perfect eco balance. And oh, that one feels weak from earlier. Lierey's not looking for her, though. And here comes 4 archers now. Margougou's like, are you kidding me? You've got more here? And Margougou just taps out. I mean, I don't know what to say. What I could tell you is Liereyy is ruining our schedule for the day. These games are so clean. They're so fast. We kind of allotted an hour and a half, 2 hours for each play all 3. But it hasn't even been an hour yet. And we're moving into the 3rd game. Lierey's just playing so good. It's just, it feels like a different class of player right now. And that's no slight to Margougou. Margougou will probably feel the same. It's just been so good. Margougou's had great high-level Age of Empires 2 so far. I do have to question the not docking, by the way. I do think you kind of maybe need to contest that maybe. But, like, Lierey's just played perfect. That's crazy. Liereyy playing like he has somewhere to be right now. Wins $80 so far. It's $40 per win here in Plat. And 2 solid wins to start it off. And so in the red, we've got Liereyy playing as the Malay. He's looked unstoppable so far. And then we've got Margougou playing as the Italians. I think these are the top 2 civs on the map. Other civs that come to mind would probably be Byzantines, Portuguese, maybe Japanese. I could see Dravidians as well actually being quite strong here. Now, I'm remembering some games where there's some connections to Margougou potentially in how things play out. So actually, let me back up, okay? And chat, this is like, I live for what I'm about to talk about, okay? So even if this isn't interesting to you, just please be like, wow, that's so interesting, okay? So, Shoals, it's been played in a couple tournaments. It's been in Titans League before. And essentially what the meta became is a lot of fast castling with safe fish booming underneath the sea tower. So almost every game was that, because if you invest a lot into feudal age, the sea tower still protects the other guy. And then they make it to fast castle. They get the relics a bit earlier. They get the TCs up earlier. And then they can always switch back onto water because they never lose their dock. So it was just fast castle a lot of the time, okay? And that's kind of what I expected. We wanted a gold contest map. We wanted a map with a lot of water. Shoals kind of fit. Now, Margougou is French, okay? And there's a French player named Sizkan who's playing in the Gold League right now. He's doing fantastic. His name is Sizkan. He has 5 wins and 1 loss, if I'm not mistaken, after the first 2 rounds. And Sizkan had a game where he went fast feudal. He made 2 galleys to snipe as many fish as possible. And then he added a bunch more fish. So there's one connection to Margougou because we have a French baguette, as they're called, go for that strategy, which is different. And then yesterday we had a player play. Oh, shoot. That was actually freaking Andy. I confused it in my mind. I thought it was Dark. Crap. Okay, so my whole build-up here was I thought there were 2 players that I thought it was one of Margougou's teammates and then also one of his French teammates that both did the fast feudal. But freaking Andy's not his teammate. Well, anyways, I'm looking at the builds here, and I think Margougou will do the build. I think that's it. I don't think he'll go fast castle. This, to me, feels like it has potential. Because he brought in his Rhino super early. Pushing deer's not really that crazy. I mean, that's going to happen anyways. I think he would have potentially, like, 1 more on wood. Or start to send more on wood if he was going fast castle here, so... But yeah, I mean, Malay, they can do it all. They can also compete fast feudal. Liereyy loves his ranged units, so we may see Liereyy opt to do that as well. But I think it's at least important to point out what the meta was in the past and what we have seen so far. Ooh, Liereyy Scout. Oh my god, Liereyy Scout got blocked by Margougou's Scout there twice. Liereyy also, I think... He might be planning on clicking up here. He's getting Loom, but that Scout's pretty weak right now for Liereyy. That's rough for him. It's a fair point from chat. The relics do seem to be much closer to Liereyy here. That's something we'll have to take a look at. And Margougou's... The relics are definitely rigged against Margougou here. What in the world? That definitely shouldn't be the case. Relics probably aren't going to be a deciding factor of the game, but it certainly helps. So AoE gods benefiting Liereyy there. Still some relics around on this side for Margougou. Maybe could potentially contest for that one. And will he click up? Lierey's clicking up, so Lierey's going fast feudal. And Margougou's going to click up as well. So they're both doing this. Okay, but yesterday, chat, we had this conversation. And I said, the fast feudal 2-galley approach into adding lots of fishing ships is good against fast castle. But if they both go fast feudal to do the same strat, then it just turns into a galley war because they're both committed to water. They can't add fish. This might just be galley after galley after galley after galley here. Yeah, I feel like it almost would have to be. Lierey's up very quickly. There's arguments to be made that maybe he's up a little bit too fast here. Can't even afford his mining camp right now. And, yeah, you guys are right. The wood, there's also tons of wood for Margougou. Lierey's base is a lot more open. The wood lines are super hard to fix on this map, so that's been a talking point. The relics should be much easier to balance, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I thought it was something we adjusted, but we'll look into it. And Liereyy just making his first galley. He knows exactly where the sea tower is. Now, something I would like players to do, neither player's done it, but usually I like to see players build their first dock away from the sea tower. So now you'd have some fish underneath the sea tower. Because the sea tower isn't benefiting you because you took the safe fish when there was never a risk you would lose it in the first place, right? But those are just the small details that come to mind for me. Lierey's scout is one hit away from death. If he loses that scout, Margougou being down a game here might consider sneaking Vils. Like, that could be an open invitation for Margougou to try and send some Vils over or something. Sneak a range up or something. But guys, we see it on closed maps. We see it on open maps. Like, if the Malay take no damage early, they're just ahead. Because they'll have a Vil lead after not spending as much time advancing up to the next stage. Really nice job there from Margougou. Getting some damage in there. Yeah, I would kind of expect this to just be a galley dance from here. Because now, neither player wants to stop making galleys, because then they'll just lose water. So it's just a whole lot of reason for them to continue with the same. Wellington Boots. I almost said Wellington Boats, because we've got boats on screen. Thanks for the year, man. Appreciate that. There's been quite a few people hitting new badges recently. We have a lot of the 1 years coming in. We had someone hit 2 years earlier today. Had someone hit the 3 years. We also had someone at like 6 or something, but it's cool to see those milestones, guys. Thank you, thank you. Fourth Raven, thanks for the 1.5 years. McCorlin, rooting for Margougou here with 9 months. Yeah, we'll see if Margougou can snag the win. But like, I think if Margougou snags a win, he'll be very happy. Because with how good Liereyy is playing, it's not expected that everyone else is going to be able to do that. And this may end up being just a battle for 4th place position or something this season for Margougou. And Micro looking pretty good. Liereyy was able to get a snipe, but he's got some weak ones in there that Margougou could potentially pick off. And just more galleys in queue. Could see some adaptations for Margougou, but his scout's not really showing like he's going to sneak or anything. Light Force, it's been over a year since I came back from Facebook. I came back from Facebook in November of 2023. We're already in 2025. Which feels ridiculous to say, but yeah, it's been, I don't know. How many months is that? 13, 14? So again, to see people that did sub support the whole time since I came back is sick. So I do think this eventually just turns into a boom war. Like, TCs and eco management is still kind of your biggest priority here. But once Castle Age comes in, with this many boats, water could be completely won by one player. which is massive when you've got galleys out because they can range the shoreline and disrupt TCs and really affect water fights. So I just don't know. Do you want it to be cheaper to go up or do you want to go up faster? I think I'm going with Malay each and every time here. But how much of that is me saying that because it's Liereyy in this type of form controlling the Malay? I think that's probably part of it. 9 galleys for Margougou. Make it 10. It's about 10 for Liereyy, but just typical Liereyy. He's just like, oh, I'll just wait it out. We saw in the previous game how confident he was to just macro his way up faster than the opponent here, so. And just needs a bit more food. Needs his market, and he'll click up. And look at Margougou. Margougou at least recognizes that this is going to be dangerous for him. So he uses the market. He clicks up first. I'm not sure that'll still be rewarded here. Malay's still going to be a minute faster. Margougou with 2 farms and some berries here. There are extra areas of deer on the map, so I noticed that he had this and didn't take it. This is a nice area to boom up in. Got an amazing base for booming, but he might want the gold. Margougou's scout is just standing there. Liereyy can't see it, but the fact that scout hasn't moved at all is kind of crazy. I think using that scout to check the areas over here to think about TC spots could be important. And Liereyy has more boats. He'll be faster to castle age. He's also been repairing some of his ships here or there. But I think this just comes down to, can he afford Bodkin? And can he afford War Galley? There's also arguments to be made. If you can get away with just Bodkin Arrow and not getting War Galley, it could be pretty nice here. But Margougou has the cheaper dock upgrades. He's always going to get both, so you probably need to do the same. The power of Liereyy and the power of Malay. Again, Margougou's had a great game. Margougou's just had 1 second of TC idle time. Lierey's had 90 seconds. Res collected's even. He goes up for a 3rd dock now. And he still has the sea tower. Without the sea tower, things could be worse for him. How much is the sea tower even contributing at this point? I don't really know. Liereyy doesn't really seem to care about it. He sees that Margougou's up and wants to get as many hits in before Margougou gets the upgrades. Sea tower's doing some damage, but it's not enough. And this is going to be potentially a full water clear for Liereyy. I actually think the big thing for Liereyy now is to add a couple fires. Should be able to take out the sea tower faster with fires. And the way that Margougou stabilizes this is probably adding his own fires. He won't add any more galleys. What's also kind of nice for Margougou, I'll admit I'm looking for positives, but... Well, no, I mean, it's not kind of nice. What's really nice for him is he didn't get Bodkin Arrow. So it's not like he lost water after getting Bodkin. He's invested less into this. And the reward for winning water here from Lierey's position would be to fish. And if fires can go snipe some fishing ships, I think Margougou's in a better spot. Bro, this scout's been standing here for 10 minutes, Margougou. You can't get your scout walled in. Yikes. Like, I don't want to hear one complaint from Margougou about the relics. Obviously, we're going to look at it, okay? It might have had something to do with the wood line. But your opponent hasn't had a scout, and that scout's just been standing there the whole time. Auto scout exists. Like, you don't know if your opponent's over here now. Like, that is such a big thing. Well played from Liereyy, by the way. Well played to snag that and know what to do. He's probably chuckling to himself right now. Obviously, a lot of things happening at the same time. And this is the correct play for Margougou. You're never going to completely retake water. So what you do with your fires is you snipe fish. Hasn't sniped a ton, though. He's on 1, 2, 3 TCs. Farms are coming out. So this will probably go imp. But in the Imperial Age, like in the race to Imperial Age, you just have to think about the Malay again. In an even game, a lot of the times it's advantage Malay, and resources collected is super close. There's just 100 resource difference. I was just wondering if Liereyy is going to allow this scout to escape. And he's repairing the wall there, so Lierey's keeping a close eye on that. I would say Liereyy could probably make a monastery and just try and convert that. Margougou would hear that and probably delete, but it doesn't hurt. If you see the relics around, you probably should be wanting to snag the relics anyways. But Liereyy has come to play Titans League Season 4, man. He's playing so good. Margougou's still doing his best to snipe fish. Snipes another fishing ship there. More fires coming out. Wow, Margougou will not give up on water here. A lot of the galleys are also kind of weak. So if they do get hit by the fires could take them out pretty quickly. But Lierey's micro seems just good enough. Still using the sea tower. What? Oh, okay. Oh, he's still using the sea tower. But yeah, that's fine. Do you guys think this scout will ever escape? I'm still waiting. Margougou's building TC number 4. Again, it's crazy to me. The fact that that scout isn't out checking to see what his opponent's doing on the sides and if his opponent's adding relic, like monks for relics. Yeah, no, that scout is never escaping. Sorry, guys. Liereyy will try and convert that, and Margougou will have to delete it. It's crazy. In 2025, someone losing their scout in Dark Age is just this massive thing. Like, people resign over that sometimes. Not saying they should, but it's a game changer if you know how to use that information. Yeah, scout gets deleted. But imagine how easy this game could be for Margougou if he wasn't left in the dark here and he could keep an eye on what was coming. Neither player really in a spot where they want to add a barracks and a stable, so there probably won't be more scouts. I like, even though Margougou hasn't been able, even though he clearly lost water, I like how he's still not just giving up on it, because the Malay player could easily get up to like 15 fishing ships and fish traps, which is really obnoxious. So this is good work from Margougou. And he's making Liereyy work hard for this as well. Obviously, we grow used to Liereyy being quite good at microing these situations, so he has held on, but still. Now, Liereyy is starting to build outposts on the sides, which wouldn't happen if there was a scout out there, but I should probably move on from that. And so he's looking to see what Margougou's doing. Is Margougou building a TC? And Margougou's building outposts now as he snipes another fishing ship. And so he could see that there's an outpost from Liereyy. So if Liereyy comes in with anything, Margougou will at least be able to know what's coming. But he's not stopping that. That's a castle. There's nothing out here to stop the castle. And just perfect play from Liereyy, guys. He clicks up the imp. I mean, he has used the timings of the Malay perfectly. And in game number 2, he used the timings and the advantages of the Mongols perfectly as well. With the, obviously, very different situation. With the scouts into archers into castle age. But, like, Margougou's resources, he's pulled ahead. His eco's looking great over here. But Liereyy, when he completes this castle, will get access to this gold. And then one trebuchet and a couple karambits make Margougou's life absolute hell here. Margougou researched atonement, which isn't cheap. He's trying to convert the monks from Liereyy. That, I think, is just ambitious. And, yeah, just... Also, like, Margougou will maybe make a run for it to this side, and then there's going to be another castle here from Liereyy. It's just crazy. A lot of people go 2 castles on this side to fully win it, but Lierey's so confident that he's going to take the side with 1 castle that he won't even do that. He'll just leave no chance for Margougou here. And there go the Vills. Liereyy will see that a mile away with all the vision from the outposts. His first treb is on the way. Here come the Vills to build the castle. Margougou will want to abandon this area. Margougou will not want to drop a castle here because the opponent can easily make trebs, right? Monk will die to the karambits. Excellent value there. Another monk will die to the Karambits. And here come the Trebs. This is Margougou's wheelbarrow TC, not his imp TC. So he will probably make it to imp, but Liereyy has just left him no chance here today. No chance. And Margougou's played really solid. His strategy's been solid, man. It's just... solid isn't good enough. I'm not even sure if great is good enough to beat Liereyy when he's in this shape. It's insane. Look how little he floats with res, by the way. He never has resources floating excessively. It's always spent immediately. Both on, like, blacksmith upgrades, university upgrades, trebs, TCs, castles, whatever. Still 2 minutes away from imp is Margougou. He doesn't have any land army to defend from this. He will hope that he can still cling to the gold over here. But he doesn't know that there's already trebs on the way from Liereyy. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. Lierey's going to start off TTL Season 4 with a 3-0. And I think, like, everyone in the community is kind of put on watch in Group A after what Sebastian and Liereyy have done to start off their groups. They both looked insane. We still get to see Yo and Dragonstar in this group, see what they can accomplish. I'd be very curious to see how Yo starts, because Yo's kind of a slow starter sometimes. And Margougou dropping barracks. He can only spend res out of the barracks when he can make condos when he's an imp. He's trying his best. But he's lost 25 vills. He'll lose this castle. Another castle from Liereyy. And Margougou's probably like, are you kidding me? What more could I have done today? There's just been no real chances. Well, this is the first mistake we've seen from Liereyy maybe the whole series. A treb next to the shoreline. So he loses a treb to a fire galley. So he is human. But castle goes down. So what, he's got 3 castles now to spam Karambits. I guess Margougou is also trying to cut back a water a little bit, which is pretty smart. But Margougou won't have gold now. He doesn't have either side. And he doesn't have the food eco either. And Karambits should be pretty good against the condos. I think when full upgrades are in, condos do alright. But Karambits are very cheap. And they produce so quickly. And then there's also the Navy, which could play a role. Wow, Liereyy tracked that Vills escaped this way, too? Margougou probably forgot about those villagers himself. Margougou was just escaping to the corner, so they're all dead. And then the Karambits make it into the back. The Treb is still firing there. Margougou just doesn't want to accept his defeat right now because he's just flabbergasted, I'm sure. But having been there, you just kind of sit there, you keep trying, and you know you're dead, but you're just gonna confirm that. But yeah, this is obviously quite over. Margougou will hope that Liereyy does this to everybody else in the group, because if Liereyy doesn't perform this well against everyone else, he will become quite annoyed. GG. Lierey's going to be insane this season. Oh my goodness, dude. I'll pull up the group there in a second, but again, it's solid showing from Margougou. In all of the games, I think game 2 was his weakest, but game 2, Acropolis was Lierey's home map. That's where I would have expected Liereyy to shine. Margougou's build was smooth here. I don't think he was expecting Liereyy to do the same thing. I think he was hoping, back to what I said in Dark Age, that Liereyy would go fast castle. And Liereyy didn't do that. And maybe some small things, like I do think that Margougou should have been more active with the scout. Maybe he should have switched it up. Maybe instead of straight booming, he could have tried to play land a little bit into light cap, but I'm not really certain he had the chance to with the way his eco was set up. Lierey's just too good, dude. So we'll look at the group here. Remember, you play everyone in your group and a play all 3, and that determines your fate. Margougou barely survived in Platinum League last season. So that's definitely the storyline with him, but I would guess, we haven't seen Yo Dragonstar yet. We'll see that later on today. I would guess that Liereyy, Sebastian, and Yo were probably top 3 in the group. And then Doubt, Dragonstar, and Margougou are going to be fighting for that 4th spot. But let's look at the group real quick just to give you guys the feel. But, like, it was a similar feeling when Sebastian and Doubt played. I was just like, Sebastian's insane right now, right? But imagine the potential drama here. So this should be updated. Liquipedia. Okay, this will update in a second. So Sebastian wins 3 games. Liereyy wins 3 games. Margougou and Doubt are going to be sharing the bottom spot right now. What could happen is, because we'll have Yo Dragonstar as our final set today, maybe it ends up, maybe Yo gets the 3-0 there. So then, like, there's a clear top 3 in the group. But what's interesting to me is a couple of these sets that could come up for Margougou. You've got Margougou Dragonstar 2nd round. That will be very important for his survival after what's happened here. But then Margougou Doubt, round 5. To me, it actually feels as though we might have a situation where whoever wins that series survives. Dragonstar is going to be looking same deal. His series against Doubt, his series against Margougou in 2nd round, 3rd round, very important to his survival. But what a great showing from Liereyy. That was so good.